Good afternoon. Welcome to Kenya News Update today. I'm your host, and we're diving deep into a story that's captured global football attention. The headline, Guardiola tells team to chill with cocktails as Man City pile pressure on Arsenal. This isn't just about a post-match celebration. It's a psychological masterstroke, a calculated move in the high-stakes Premier League title race. Over the next 12 minutes, we'll unpack the strategy, the statistics, and the seismic pressure this places on Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. We'll debate whether this is genius management or reckless overconfidence, and we'll examine the numbers that make this title chase one of the most dramatic in recent memory. Let's begin. First, the scene. Tuesday night, February 24th, 2026. The Etihad Stadium, Manchester. A tense, nervy atmosphere as Manchester City hosted a resilient Newcastle United. The context is everything. Arsenal, City's only real rival for the title, had played earlier that day, securing a hard-fought 1-0 win against Aston Villa. That result pushed the Gunners 3 points clear at the top, albeit having played one more game than City. The pressure was squarely on Pep Guardiola's shoulders. A slip here, a draw, and Arsenal's lead could feel insurmountable. A win, and the psychological pendulum swings. The match was a grind. Kevin De Bruyne opened the scoring in the 35th minute with a trademark free kick, but Newcastle's Alexander Isak leveled just before halftime. For over 45 minutes, City probed and pressed, facing a wall of black and white stripes. The breakthrough came in the 88th minute, a moment of magic from Phil Foden, cutting inside and curling a shot into the far corner. Pandemonium. The final whistle blew, Manchester City 2, Newcastle United 1. Now the moment that defined the narrative. Instead of a stern tactical debrief, Pep Guardiola, beaming, pumped his fists to all four sides of the stadium. In the dressing room, he made an announcement that reverberated around the football world. He gave his squad 3 full days off. No training, no meetings. His instruction was simple: go and enjoy life. Specifically, he mentioned cocktails, caipirinhas, and daiquiris. The image is potent: the most demanding coach in world football, the architect of relentless pressing and tactical discipline, telling his warriors to unwind with tropical drinks. This was the headline, but let's look beyond the headline to the strategy. This was a deliberate public message with 2 distinct audiences. First, his own players, the message: I trust you. The job is done for now. Recharge. The Premier League run-in is a marathon of stress, and Guardiola knows burnout is a real threat. By granting this freedom, he's banking on renewed focus and energy when they reconvene. Second, and perhaps more importantly, the message was for Arsenal. It was an act of supreme confidence, almost nonchalance. The subtext: we are so assured in our ability, so calm under pressure, that we can afford to take our foot off the gas. The pressure is now yours to handle. Over to you, Arsenal. Let's quantify that pressure with some key statistics. Since the turn of the year, Manchester City's form has been nothing short of relentless. In their last 15 Premier League matches, they have won 13, drawn 1, and lost only 1. That's a win rate of 87%. More crucially, in the final 15 minutes of matches this season, City have scored 24 goals. That's a staggering 24% of their total league goals coming in the dying moments, a testament to their physical conditioning and mental fortitude. Now compare that to Arsenal's run-in. After their win against Villa, Arsenal have 9 games remaining. Their schedule includes trips to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Old Trafford to face Manchester United, and a potentially tricky visit to Brighton. City, meanwhile, have 10 games left, with their toughest away fixtures likely being a visit to Anfield to face Liverpool and a trip to North London to face, you guessed it, Arsenal. That head-to-head clash, scheduled for April 12th, looms as a potential title decider. But the psychological warfare extends beyond the fixture list. Let's examine the historical data. Under Pep Guardiola, Manchester City have a notorious habit of winning Premier League titles in the final months of the season. In their last 5 title-winning campaigns, their average points per game in the final 10 matches is 2.5. That's championship form when it matters most. Arsenal, under Mikel Arteta, have shown improvement but have yet to prove they can hold their nerve in a sustained head-to-head battle with City down the stretch. Last season, Arsenal led the table for 248 days, the most for any team that didn't win the title in English top-flight history. The ghost of that collapse, a lead squandered in the final weeks, haunts every Gooner. Guardiola's cocktail comment is a subtle reminder of that history. It's a needle. It's designed to get into the heads of the young Arsenal squad and their manager. The question is, will it work? Now, let's bring in the debate. Perspective 1, Guardiola's move is a stroke of genius. Proponents argue that modern football is as much a mental game as a physical one. The demands on elite players are immense, with matches every 3 or 4 days across multiple competitions. Granting a 3-day break in late February is a strategic rest, a chance to physically recuperate and mentally reset before the grueling final push. It shows empathy and man management, fostering loyalty and a positive team spirit. The cocktail reference is simply a colorful way of saying, switch off. It's a signal that the manager has confidence in his team's professionalism. They will enjoy their break but return hungrier than ever. This perspective is backed by sports psychologists who emphasize the importance of planned decompression in sustained high performance. Perspective 2, this is a reckless gamble that could backfire spectacularly. Critics point to the fine margins at the top. A 3-day break means 3 days where Arsenal are presumably working, refining set pieces, analyzing weaknesses. In a race decided by a single point, that could be the difference. Furthermore, the very public nature of the instruction could be seen as arrogant, giving Arsenal a tangible, disrespect, narrative to fuel their own motivation. What if a key player picks up a minor injury while enjoying life? What if the break disrupts the rhythm and sharpness that City have meticulously built? This camp believes discipline should be maintained until the trophy is mathematically secured. The history of sport is littered with teams that took their eye off the ball, quite literally, and paid the ultimate price. Let's add a third perspective, a financial one. The stakes here are astronomical. Winning the Premier League is worth approximately £180 million in prize money and broadcasting revenue alone. The prestige value for global commercial deals, sponsorship, and player recruitment is incalculable. For Manchester City, owned by the City Football Group, consistent dominance is the business model. For Arsenal, returning to the summit after a 22-year wait is a financial and emotional imperative that could transform the club's trajectory for a decade. When we frame Guardiola's decision in this context, a £180 million gamble on team morale, it becomes even more fascinating. Is he betting that a happy, relaxed squad will perform 2% better? In elite sport, 2% is the difference between gold and silver. We must also consider the human element within the squad. Manchester City's roster is a blend of seasoned veterans and hungry young stars. For a 34-year-old Kevin De Bruyne, 3 days of rest for his body might be more valuable than any training session. For a 23-year-old Erling Haaland, it might be a chance to visit family and mentally detach. Guardiola's management has always been personalized. This blanket instruction of enjoy life allows each player to interpret it in the way that best suits their needs. It's a unified command that permits individual application. This is where Guardiola's man management is often underrated. He's not just a tactician, he's a psychologist who understands the diverse needs of his multinational squad. What about the reaction from the other side? As of this recording, Mikel Arteta has not publicly commented on Guardiola's cocktail remarks. His press conference ahead of Arsenal's next match, a home game against Wolverhampton Wanderers, was focused solely on his own team's preparation. He praised his players' mentality and emphasized the need to focus on their own process, game by game. This is the textbook response. Do not engage. Do not give the mind games oxygen. But privately, you can bet Arteta is using this as a motivational tool. The message to his players will be clear. They are celebrating a win in February. We will celebrate in May. The silence from the Arsenal camp is, in itself, a loud statement. It says, we are not distracted, we are locked in. So, where does this leave the title race? With 10 games to go for City and 9 for Arsenal, the mathematical probability models have shifted. Before City's win over Newcastle, statistical models gave Arsenal a 55% chance of winning the league. After the win, that probability dropped to 48%, with City's rising to 45%, and the remaining 7% accounting for a surprise challenge from Liverpool or Aston Villa. The gap is razor thin. Every result, every moment, carries immense weight. Guardiola's cocktail break is now part of that narrative. Will it be remembered as the relaxing interlude that refreshed a champion, or the moment of complacency that cost them the crown? Looking at the broader picture, this episode is a microcosm of modern elite sport. The margins are so small that intangible factors, morale, psychology, momentum, become decisive. Coaches are no longer just trainers, they are narrative shapers, culture creators, and sometimes provocateurs. Guardiola has mastered this aspect of the game. His comment was not off the cuff, it was calculated. It generated headlines, shifted the conversation, and placed a new kind of pressure on his rival. In the age of social media and 24/7 sports news cycles, controlling the narrative is a competitive advantage. In conclusion, the story of Pep Guardiola telling his team to chill with cocktails is far more than a fun post-match anecdote. It is a strategic gambit in the high-stakes poker game of a Premier League title race. It highlights the psychological warfare that underpins elite competition. It forces us to debate the balance between relentless discipline and necessary rest. And it sets the stage for a thrilling 2 month finale where every decision, on and off the pitch, will be scrutinized. For Arsenal, the message has been received. The ball is in their court, the pressure is on. Can they handle it where they faltered last season? Or will Manchester City's blend of quality and calculated cool prove once again to be the winning formula? We will find out soon. For Kenya News Update today, this has been a deep dive into the mind games of football. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Kenya News Update today for more in-depth analysis.